Horseshoe theory truthers are feeling pretty vindicated with the news that President Trump and Bernie Sanders both agree that the government should take a 10% stake in the Intel Corporation in exchange for billions in grants. So this got us thinking, what are some other recent examples of horseshoe theory in action, where a particular policy was only supported by the most conservative and the most liberal politicians in both parties? Well, we can start with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or the TPP. This 2016 international trade deal was opposed by both presidential candidates, Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, as they argued the deal shipped jobs overseas and hurt American workers. Supporters like President Obama, Hillary Clinton, Marco Rubio, and Paul Ryan argued that the TPP would make products cheaper for consumers. It would allow the U.S. to write international trade rules instead of other world powers like China. When Trump entered office in 2017, he withdrew the U.S. from the TPP, a move Sanders praised. There's also the 2013 attempt by Justin Amash and John Conyers to end the NSA's blanket collection of Americans' telephone records after the Edward Snowden whistleblower revelations. The proposal failed narrowly as President Obama, Nancy Pelosi, John Boehner, and others on both sides of the aisle said the bill was too blunt and would dismantle a crucial intelligence tool. And lastly, during the Great Recession, there was the Wall Street bailout, or rather opposition to the bailout. While more moderate establishment figures in both parties supported the bailout, arguing that it was necessary to prevent an even greater financial collapse, figures like Bernie Sanders, Dennis Kucinich, Louis Gohmert, and Mike Pence all voted against the bill, as they argued it was an unfair corporate handout. Something else important to note too is that if you mainly get your news from right-leaning outlets, you may have missed this Trump-Sanders intel story. As you can see, Sanders and Trump's agreement on the issue was heavily reported by outlets on the left, but is completely ignored by those on the right, making this story a blind spot for the right, which makes you wonder how readers on the right would feel about the idea of the government partially owning intel if they knew the idea came from Bernie Sanders.